Good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry Benedict, joined by Shammy, the 3-star general. There he is. Got to get that hat fixed, bro. If you want to be in Trump's winning army, we're destroying them. We got them on the ropes. They want to hand over the dust. They want to do everything. Yeah, okay. Except yesterday, which the market had no reaction to. They basically said the MOU is out and everything else is out, and there's nothing. So the market doesn't care. You know what the market cares about, which is crazy, that these two numbers, PPI and CPI, which came in better than expected because obviously energy prices imploded, right? But I'm looking at the core numbers. They're insane, dude. This guy was on Capitol Hill yesterday saying he's not playing games with a 2% inflation rate. And the Fed is going to do whatever it needs to do to get it there. They're not being like the fake Fed of yesteryear. Okay. And the number today was like 4, 6, and 5. Like, I don't understand.
Well, let me ask you a question
I don't understand it.
Well, let me ask you a question by showing this chart. You mentioned a 2% inflation rate. Look at where the 2-year break-even inflation rate is. It is trading under 2% right now, under 2%. And it was obviously trending higher during the onset of the war, and then as the market bottomed, this this break-even inflation rate came all the way down below their target. What do you make of that?
I don't follow that and I don't really understand it. So if you want to go into exactly what it is
Well,
and
the break-even inflation rate is just coming from it's the yield on the tips.
no, I don't know. I don't even know anyone that trades that stuff, but okay. Whatever. I'm just looking at pure numbers, okay? And I'm looking at a guy who's angry, okay? He's angry. I know no one believes this, but the head of the Fed is angry. He's angry at the way the Fed has operated over the last 20 years. Okay. He literally said that on the Hill yesterday in no uncertain terms. And listen, if inflation is really under control, don't you think the bond would be not trading at the high yield of the entire move? It hit it pre the number and now it's off a little bit. Okay. What do you make of that? Over a 450 10-year, okay? And to me, it's moments away from taking off to 5%. And our market is, it's whatever. Our market is a zero. Okay. The S&P is down less than 10 handles on the week. Again, after being down to 80 on Monday. Got it all back. Okay. The Nasdaq came all the way back to exactly where we were to start the week, and here we are. It's Wednesday. Your head is spinning. You don't know whether to buy Dow and sell S&P or buy Apple because you know what the new trade is? Buy Apple days Nvidia is down. Okay, I'm being honest. Okay, they're like running into that trade on
That
Monday.
could
They
actually
were
work.
buying Apple up because
As
Nvidia
funny
was
as it
going down,
sounds,
and then Nvidia went up and Apple went down. I
yeah.
mean, come on, doggy. This is insane, and all this is a computer algorithmic nightmare that continues on and on and on. And listen, they want me to tell some stories about like the old days and, trading and, some good war stories. And, you know, like when I look at this, the first thing that pops into my mind is so many different things, like sitting here in my office with my assistant next to me and saying, hey, where's the limit today? What's going on? How about this? Where's the market? I can't even see it. I don't even know where it is. It's moving so fast. Okay. We're in an algorithmic Jane Street and Ken rig to just print dollars. And what's upsetting about it, really, is who's getting hurt really bad? The public. The public's getting hurt really bad. It's being masked because the broad market has done okay, but the individual names are destroyed. Okay, they've destroyed these people. Listen, they're saying that this Hynix is an IPO. They were literally selling that. I have people calling me, go, I got the IPO in Hynix. I mean, come on. It's just a relisting of a security that's trading somewhere else. And then guys like you are coming on and you're like, I don't know why there's a 20% premium. Dude, it doesn't trade until the night. So wherever it is now, if it goes down 10% in the US, tonight it'll be down 10% overseas. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, they don't continually trade it 24 hours. So one day one is going to be up, the other's going to be down. Is going to be, a spread, and it'll get in line on the opening in Hong Kong. I mean, in Korea tonight. So
Uh-huh.
the
Uh-huh.
market is ridiculous.
So guys like me have the following question. All right. So yesterday, the ADR, according to Bloomberg, closed at a 51% premium to the Korean shares. So what you're saying is just wait for the overnight and it all comes in.
No,
The Korean
no, I'm
shares went up
saying,
3% overnight at its open. So that
Eric,
doesn't really explain what's going on here.
yeah, it doesn't because the people in the United States bought it up too much because it's retail. It didn't go up in Korea. And now listen, I'm sure
Oh,
Hynix.
so that's the
Dude,
answer, is
hold
that
on a second.
there's some
Where
exuberance
did
here in the
Hynix
US.
close in Korea last night? No, Dude, Hynix is down in the US and it was up last night in Korea. And it'll get in line, and maybe there's a little bit of a dollar premium, because you're trading it in US dollars, but nothing that should, throw you off. And then the best thing is, and it really made me smile inside last night, was when you chat GBT'd it, it gave some generic, ridiculous answer. And literally, that's what we got here, dude. That's
Uh-huh.
what we got here. I know. AI, baby.
I just wanted to,
AI.
yeah, I wanted to give you a
AI.
little red meat. I wanted to give you a
AI.
little red meat.
No,
You
but
know,
I'm saying, but AI. AI. It didn't give you the answer to anything. Okay.
it
It's
basically said exactly what you said. Market structure. That's all it said.
Dude, it doesn't even know. That's the thing. But it's okay, dude. You're going to be using this to get all your answers soon. I know they're improving the technology. It's going to be incredible. Blah
It'll
blah
be so
blah blah
good.
blah. Dude, listen. I've been in this game a long time. This is the biggest bubble that I've ever seen. Nothing even comes close. Okay. They brought SpaceX at a $1.7 trillion valuation, 7.7, and ran it up to over 2 trillion, making it the fifth biggest company in the world. And you disappeared on me, dude. I don't know if you're gone. Are you there? I think he's off. I don't know. But, it's making basically the company the basic fifth biggest company in the world. Um, it's a joke. They reeled in the retail public. Public is max long that thing, and it's pretty incredible. But again, market looked like it was going to roll over this morning. Came all the way in, especially in Nasdaq, and now they're buying SPU and selling Nasdaq. That's the trade. Last night they were buying Nasdaq and not buying SPU. Now they're buying SPU and not buying Nasdaq. Later, who knows what they're going to do? But literally, the one thing and Eric talks about this, I don't even know, he calls it rug pull, but it's really not much of anything. But every time the market goes down, it comes right back. It's been doing this for months and months and months. If we have one down day, the next day is up. We never have two in a row. If we had two in a row, they'd call like the Air National Guard in to basically stop the market from going down. I don't know where you went. I was talking about
Sorry.
I was talking about a rug pull. Like you call it a rug pull, I call it
Yeah, I
nothing.
saw your text this morning. You're like rug pull. I thought the market was down like 500 points.
Why? No, I said they're gonna do a rug pull, and I think
They're gonna do
they're gonna do it today. I'm not calling it. I just was goofing on you. It's not a rug pull. It's just
You
trading.
got me all excited for nothing
But why would you be excited? I don't
because you said
understand.
rug pull. You know I get excited when there's
Eric, come on. There's never been a rug pull. Okay, you call it a rug pull whenever we're down. Okay, you
yeah,
know
because nobody expects it. Volatility
what
tells
do you
you
mean?
there's nothing,
Volatility didn't
and
move.
then bang.
Volatility is 16 and never goes up. Dude, listen. Let's recap the week for a second. Okay, let's recap the week. We opened Monday. Market got hammered. Nasdaq was down 700. Okay, over 2%. Okay, closer to 3. Okay, regular. Not a big deal for Nasdaq, because that thing goes crazy every day. S&P down almost 1%, and then yesterday S&P up. Today S&P up, and the market is unchanged on the week, and it's Wednesday. And here we sit. And what I'm not understanding is how the market buys. How does the market buy this as good news? I'm just trying to understand how the market is actually buying this as good news when we never went down when supposedly it was bad news. Dude, we haven't gone down. Okay, think about this. Okay, just hear me out. Let's retrace some steps. Okay. March, the war starts. We go into a correction, almost a bear market in NASDAQ, pretty much. Okay. literally in 2 weeks, it comes out of that and explodes higher. Okay. Because Donald Trump said the war is over. We got the nuclear dust. We did the greatest deal of all time and about 80 other things to get the market higher. Right. Now, in my trading day, which I'm not even calling this my trading day anymore because right now it's run by a computer, so it's nobody's trading day. Okay. Nobody could know anything about what's coming next today. Okay. You don't know. I don't know. Could open up and go higher. It could open up and go lower. It could crash down. It could rally up. There's not one clue on your board. Okay, that's going to tell you anything. And the only time it tells you something is after it moves. After it moves, they move the SPU, then they'll move a stock. So, anyway, so we've had all these things, and I think you have to admit that where we are in the process of this, now they're calling this the endless war. I don't know if you saw all these headlines. This is the endless war that he has no out on. Okay.
I would agree with that. Like, what is the out? I don't think he has one, but go on. Yep.
What is the out?
Yeah.
There's
What?
one
Yeah.
out. There's one out, but he won't do it. Blow Tehran to smithereens. That's the out.
But yeah, exactly. That's the out. But
But why won't he do it? I don't understand. They're disrespecting us. They've killed many
let's
Americans.
not sidetrack. You were rolling. You continue.
No, I was just basically saying we're at the lowest point today, I believe, in the entire war, or whatever you want to call this
What does that
excursion
mean?
war.
Lowest point.
We're at the lowest point, meaning we're in the worst position that we've been in since the day this war started. Okay. He's throwing crap against the wall. Right. He's going to tariff the Strait of Hormuz. How is he going to do that? You're going to pull up to like the Triborough Bridge and like pay a toll? I mean, come on. The strait is
He
wide.
chucked that. He's not. He chucked that. He's not gonna.
Oh, now he's not doing it?
Yeah,
Now
he's
he's
not
not
doing
doing
it.
it?
Mhm.
Why? What happened? He said it yesterday. He's now not doing it? Oh,
I
just
don't know.
another
Maybe
taco.
the polling data
Wait,
came in
just another
overnight.
taco? Just another Bell? Just another Taco Bell? I mean, come on. This
You know
guy.
it. You know it.
Dude, he has no out. He also said he's putting troops. He doesn't rule out putting troops on the ground. Okay.
I want to buy bonds here. I want to buy
Really?
bonds.
Why?
If for no other reason than this technical setup here on the
I
30
don't
year.
like it. I don't like it.
I know you don't. It's
I don't
probably
like
why I
it.
don't want to do it.
Do it.
But
Do it. Just
I
like
think.
yesterday. You called me on the dead high of the day. You're like, I'm so bullish. And then
Well,
I'm
look
like,
at this measured move. Okay, okay, I
I
know,
go,
I
time
know,
out. I said, this market doesn't look that good.
I
And then
know.
you're like, oh, I sold them. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
Whatever. You
Listen,
know, I'm the worst.
the
I'm
one
the
thing
worst
that I'll
trader
tell
ever.
you, the one thing that I'll tell
Who's the
you,
worst trader ever?
who?
Who?
Me.
Oh, I thought it was me. But anyway, look at this measured move here. I love it. It's like one, right, and then we're gonna put on another one. Whoa, whoa. You guys get the point here. Bang, right to the tick on the 30-year and drop. So my thing is, here's the 2-year yield. It's holding on for dear life for this trend line that it has established over the last few months on this idea of rate hikes. And the probability of a July hike is basically zero right now. So is this a seed shift for the short term in the macro thinking?
No clue, dude. I
But I
honestly,
am buying bonds here with a stop out above.
you know what? I'm
Well,
actually going to recommend to my subscribers to get short bonds.
wow.
I don't like them. What do you like about it?
Wow.
That we've had numbers that were much better than expected, and the yield cannot freaking move. Cannot move.
I don't know.
Okay,
The price action is telling me
Eric,
we
the
have a little
10-year
rally
traded
tomorrow.
overnight at a record high. At a record high. You know, of this move, not a record high, but of this move, traded 462 overnight. I am. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen today. as far as like my thought, I'm leaning short. I will press the short once we start to move down. I think we could get hit today. Um, I don't understand the market and what it's looking at. Overseas markets are kind of flattish to nowhere. The move in the chips day over day is insane. Forget Micron. Nvidia traded 202 yesterday morning. It's trading 212 plus. It's up $10, 5-6% overnight. Hynix probably had a 15% move up. Um, the day before that, chips were in the sea. They were destroyed, and they bring them back.
Well,
Okay.
ASML had earnings. It's up 3%. I'm going to pull up the
Anyway, we
chart.
got a couple of questions. One is, if rug pulls don't happen, why fade the opening? Rug rug pull, I don't think ever happens. I'm not even going to use the word rug pull. I'm just looking for a trade, and I think the market up here is a nice level to put a trading short on. I think they're pricing in basically double good news and everything. But again, you're in an algorithmic mess. So, you just got to keep an eye on it. And for me, what I would do today is I would short into a little weakness. So what I would do, to be clear, on S&P futures, they're trading at 76.12, okay, which is crazy to even think about. I don't want to date myself, but do you know the price of the first fill that I did in S&P? The first price of my first trade in S&P.
Um,
It's
20.
70,615.
I'm going
What
to
do you
go
think?
with I'm going to go with Michael Jordan's and my birthday 23.
What do you mean 20? 23?
Yeah,
23 what?
points.
No, come on.
I don't know.
The S&P was never at 23, but it was under 100.
Okay, so that's not far off.
Under 100. And somehow it's now 7,600, and there's no fear. What's weird? With the advent of inventing this computerized algorithmic nightmare, they've literally taken trading away from pretty much everyone. I mean, think about this.
Oh, no,
I
let's not think about it. Continue with the chart. How are you going to play this downside?
I'm not playing any downside. I just
You
told
said
you
you
I'm
want to short
waiting.
into weakness, right? You want to
Right.
short
So
into.
if it goes down,
I like that move for the downside. What is the
you're not
level?
listening, and you're talking and not letting me finish. If the S&P goes to 7,600, I would it's only 14 points, but I would start shorting there, and then I would get aggressively short. Do I think that trade is going to happen the way it looks now? No, because they changed the mantra of the market literally in 15 minutes of trading today. Literally, I was getting my coffee and we were going red on the day in S&P, and now the S&P is outperforming the Nasdaq and is somehow incredible. So this is the market we're in. This is what we've been given.
Yeah, for somebody that doesn't use charts, that's a pretty good feel for how to short this on the downside because this point of control that I see 2 points of control. I know the chart says the point of control is 75.90 by the technical definition of this point of control. And by the way, in the chat, I saw a really good conversation about points of control. It all depends on what your look back period is. I like to have several points of control that I deem important. But for this move, since the gap up on June 12th is the one that I'm looking at. And so the point of control here, by its technical definition, is 75.90, which is not far off from the level that you're talking about. I think if we get to 7,600, as you said, we're probably going to test that point of control. Now we break that. There's another one down here, which was the point of control uh, yesterday, but we had quite a bit of volume up here, and that's down to 75.40. So I think if the 75.90 loses its footing, yeah, we're going to be bouncing between these two levels. Should be good for a 40-point dip on weakness. But again, the question is, are we going to have weakness?
Okay, whatever, dude. You've answered and told us nothing. Are we going to have weakness? We're not. It's irrelevant. It's
Well, we
irrelevant
have a
as it.
clue, right?
What,
75.90.
Eric?
We have
Eric.
7,600. These are weak
But they're
points.
not. Listen, they're not tradable things right now. Okay.
No, not right now.
Well, you know why? Because the
Why are you
whole.
looking for downside today? I don't get it.
Because I'm looking for upside, okay? I like the market. I told you why. I think the numbers are not good, okay? Even though on the headline they look good. I see you like bonds. I see negative action in bonds. Okay, I see high yield. I think the Fed is going to be aggressive, okay? Much more aggressive than the market thinks it is. And does that have anything to do with today? Maybe later. Maybe later. Maybe later.
The weird
Maybe.
thing to me is gold because if there's this U-turn in the macro thought process of the market right now, which is, hey, we thought they're going to raise rates a lot, and now July is off the table, green light, right? Then
Green
why is
time, time,
gold?
time, time, time. Dude, what does that have to do with September? Gold knows what's coming. The only thing that doesn't know what's coming or does but doesn't want to see it is the S&P. Okay? That's why I don't like your bond trade because it doesn't matter if he freaking moves rates in July or in September. And if he doesn't move them in July, you know where bonds are going? Straight down. Because then they know it's 100% certainty in September. Okay. He's raising rates. That's what no one realizes. He's raising rates. And if he waits past July, it's just going to put a damper on this. Also, it's coming closer to the midterms, and the market is overdue for a correction. But all I'm telling you, I just want to get back to our thought before about the levels. Do you know before the number came out, we were below all those levels? Okay. So one fake number, okay, that's meaningless. I'm telling you, this number is meaningless. You and I both know they will not even be discussing it at 11 o'clock today. Okay. It's probably off the picture right now. But somehow they were able to take the SPU off the low and move it up. Okay, I don't know how or why, but that's what's happened. But for me, I don't want to even mess around. So what I'm doing is I put stops in the market. So if we get to those numbers, I'm stopping in. And at each level, you know, I call it like Dutching. Okay. Like I put this trade on and then hopefully we go through all the levels and I put on, I'm making up the numbers, 20 S&P shorted at even. 40 S&P short at 90, 90 S&P short at 80. That's how I made hundreds of millions of dollars trading. Now those trades used to happen in twice a week, maybe more. You know how often those trades happen? Never. Like once a month if you're lucky. Okay? Where you could, sell into weakness, get aggressive, and make a ton of money.
Yeah, that's why I call it rug pulls because we've had downside in the Nasdaq over the last 6 weeks. You had 3 or 4 days where you had outsized red days in
Eric,
Nasdaq,
but
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 nobody
when
saw
you're
them coming, and you
right,
can't react to them. And then if you try to follow
why
the,
can't you react? You could react. I just told you
because
how
it
to
would come
react.
back the next day. It would just come back the next
What
day.
does that matter? We're not trading for tomorrow. If you're trading this market for tomorrow of a same move, you will never make money. But today, you could sell this opening and watch us tank. I'm not saying we will, we should. Okay, we should. We should. There's no reason we're up here. It makes no sense. They took the market off the low. The SPU was trading at 93. 93 is a good number to look at after the opening. If it gets through there, that means everyone that's bought after 8:30 is down money. I like when that happens. Okay. I like when that happens because it gives more aggressive selling. I don't know who's buying the market up here. Okay. The S&P is up 100 handles from the low this week. I don't know. It's only Wednesday. Why? What's the reason why? What is so good? Just tell me what's so good. It must be the war. It must be how well we're doing there. It must be how well we're fighting inflation. When I looked at the number off my Bloomberg terminal, it was I didn't even like put it together how high the CPI and PPI are. I couldn't even put it together. How can they want a 2% inflation rate when you're having numbers like this? Even if they're improved, this makes no sense. Okay. They're putting out really high numbers and beating them, handedly because oil went down. So whatever. Here we sit. Where's the straddle today? What's the numbers we're looking at? People want to know. We're actually half an hour is so
Same
fast.
straddle as yesterday at the open 38.
Oh, really? I saw it lower last night. They must have put a bid into it. I don't know why. Maybe there'll be some downside, but anyway,
I'm sorry, no.
we have a couple of
I'm
minutes.
sorry, I'm wrong.
I wanted
I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
remember
It's not. Yo, I'm wrong. It's not 38.
it's
It's
27, dude.
28.
That's right. Okay. So I was right. Dude, you see, I'm following this stuff. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It was so much lower overnight.
I was just testing you. I wanted to see how
I
sharp
know.
you
Well,
are.
I'm in tune with that. Also, a couple of things. Anyone watching, hit like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. One, tonight I am running a webinar on how to take advantage of IPOs. Okay, but not actually trading the IPO, but trading our strategy that you could learn about if you go on and watch the webinar. And it's beautiful because like what's happened, and I've seen it happen throughout my career, and I was the lead IPO guy for Spear Leads in the 90s during the internet bubble. I ran the syndicate department for them, so I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of IPOs, okay, in my life, okay? And, we've come up with a good way to not touch the IPO because I don't like that trade because if you can get in prior to the IPO or get the syndicate price, you have a shot. But if you're buying after the syndicate, you're going to lose money. But we have a good trade that we've been doing for a long time that takes advantage of that. So that's going to air tonight. Um, and I don't know if there's any questions you want to get to, but we can only get to one or two because we got a hard stop in 2 minutes to get everybody ready.
Question for Larry. Would you consider a second move a rug pull? I guess the question was if you don't think there's a rug pull, why short the market at the open?
Dude, first of all, you came up with this dumb term that I want to alleviate. Okay, it makes no sense. To me, when I think about a rug pull, okay, to be honest with everyone out there, I look at my screen and I can't see a market. That's a rug pull where the screen is shaking and there's no true market. Okay, and that's a rug pull. Opening up today and crashing down, how is that a rug pull? I don't even understand. I mean, I'm looking for that. How is it a rug pull?
I
I don't
think
understand.
you may be looking for it, but I don't think the vast majority of
And
people.
what's a rug pull, Eric? 80 basis points in the market? I mean, dude, the S&P is up
No,
10.
no, not 80. It would be a two standard deviation move in
Okay,
a
so then we haven't had a rug pull yet this year. Whatever. I mean, Nasdaq,
We're talking
you
about
gotta stop.
we had
You
several
gotta
of them
stop,
since June.
dude. You gotta stop with the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is the Wild West. The Nasdaq was up over 250. It will be down. I don't know if it'll be down 250, but it'll be down at some point. And that's an average move for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq moves 500 points a day. 500 up and down all around. So I don't know how it's a rug pull. It's doing that every day. So I guess we're having a rug pull every day. The Nasdaq is the craziest, most illiquid index. It's insane. And the Qs are even crazier. You can't make this stuff up. I'm just telling you. It's just nuts. I mean, literally, that's where Ken and Jane are living, is in the Nasdaq, because all the stocks are illiquid. Dude, you could see Nvidia at 212 today and then trade 207 today, okay, or 215. Okay, the stock has a trillion shares outstanding. It's crazy what's going on. It has like 25 billion shares outstanding, and it moves like a rocket ship up and down. So anyway, we're gonna wrap. I don't know if there's one more question or if you want to
I have
end.
a question. I have a question from you that is coming from me, actually. So you did a
Oh,
lot of IPOs with Spear Leads. You like the IPOs. SpaceX is right next to 135. What's going to happen next?
well, they have this residual buying to protect the IPO. It's been a long time, a few weeks, so maybe the protection won't be that much. But there's two there's two thoughts. Like I I would maybe take a stab at it even here or maybe at 136. It could break the IPO price and you can maybe get 134, 133, whatever. But at some point, what I've seen in my career trading IPOs is they defend it. So there'll be a little bit of defense. But here's the one thing I want to point out to people, and I don't know if you have the date of the earnings. What is the date of their earnings?
I think it's August 17th. Let me double check.
Okay, so August 17th is their earnings, but it's also an unlock for major stock. So insiders will have the ability to sell their stock. So I would expect into that this goes lower, but the first line in the sand is the IPO price of 135. So you may want to take a stab to the long side around 135, 134, 136. I've seen this in the past. The only thing that I would say is important to understand is usually they defend that in the first week of trading, not after like 3 weeks or whatever this has been. I'm telling you, this has been, I know it's the greatest IPO ever. It's the most disappointing IPO for public that I've ever seen. And I've said this and I truly believe this. I don't know what this stock will be in the future. And neither does Elon. Okay. So it may turn into a used car company. Who knows what he'll end up doing, okay, to draw revenue. I'm not kidding, dude, because the space thing is ridiculous. I'm just letting you know, ridiculous. It's years and years out. Listen, let's. It's funny. I was reading an article last night, and I know we have to wrap, but I was reading an article about Lucid. The car company. They make
I
electric
remember
cars.
that name. It's a
Yeah.
COVID name.
Okay. Whatever. Lucid. Okay. It's going out of business, dude. Out of business. Do you know what's
Yeah.
going on with these EVs? They're all going out of business. That was the hottest. I looked at the price in 2022. That stock was like $500. It's trading at 3. Okay? Why can't Micron do that? Why can't Micron, and I've seen it happen. Like this chip memory crap is priced for utter perfection. I know Hynix is selling so many chips. Micron, ASML, this one, that one, they're all selling billions of chips, but I'm just trying to understand to who? To who? Who's the buyer? Facebook? Like who's the buy? I mean, Microsoft, obviously, but how much can
Yeah,
they buy?
obviously
And now
not.
you're
That's why
seeing them.
I put up a free cash flow chart of hyperscalers versus the chip makers and memory companies, and they're going like this. They're alligator jaws. I think that is the biggest ongoing at a glacial speed. It's slow, but that's something that at some point is gonna come to a head, and we'll see where we're at. All of the cash flow numbers pumping into these memory stocks are coming from hyperscalers. They're just buying and selling to each other. But I
Eric,
don't
this
think
is the
any
most.
company,
We're
all
gonna
these
we're gonna.
enterprises that are using AI can put their finger on exactly how this is helping their bottom line.
But if
At some
this is
point,
a
they're going to have to
massive
show it.
build out, if this is a massive build out right now, overbuilding, they're overbuilding, and that Meta just said they're selling all their used components or renting space. Okay, at some point, and listen, you gotta, look at true real life. There will be a slowdown. What's gonna happen? I mean, it can't continue at this pace. These companies like Oracle, they're going to go out of business. They literally, I wouldn't touch their long-term debt. No way. Okay. And I'm not saying Oracle's going out of business, but they're going to suffer significantly moving forward because there is going to be a slowdown because, like you said, they call it hyperscalers or whatever. They're going crazy. Everybody's gone crazy. So, anyway, we got to wrap. Again, my trade today, it may not come, but I'm selling into weakness. I think that especially in Nasdaq, that there's a shot. Keep an eye on these like chip companies that they can move. Just remember this. The other day we're on the podcast, okay, and we're talking about Micron. It was down $60. I said, you know what, Eric? In 3 ticks, it could be green. And I'm not even kidding you. Prior to the opening, it moved up 3 ticks and it went from down 60 to green. And that's how illiquid this market is. So when you think you have an idea, just freaking, you have no idea. And the one thing I would say to people out there is shorten your time horizon. Do not trade for tomorrow. Trade for today. Okay. And keep your eye for the people that subscribe to the Opportunistic Trader. Keep your eye out for a trade today. It should be coming to your inbox. And unless
You
you have
trading
something.
IBIT for your customers? Coinbase, IBIT, anything? I mean,
No, not right
no,
now. No.
no, you're not going to skim a little Bitcoin here.
No, we did really well on the short side, waiting to pick it up on the long side, but not at these levels. Too high.
Come
So
on,
I don't. I think
skim
it's a
a little
short, but there may not be enough in it. Um, the
for
stock
sure.
market, the stock market is the one that's confusing today because the numbers on the headline basis are so high, and they're celebrating a 4.6 PPI or whatever, 4.8. I don't know how that's good, but somehow the computer, dude, here it is, the squelch button, Ken and Jane. Ring. Anyway, everybody have a great trading day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Peace.